Hi guys, so yeah, you'd have often heard me say I don't have a lot of room. So other than sitting at my desk, which is in my living room, this is the only other area I have where I have, well, any equipment. And as you can see, it's a small little stand in a little alcove, but just big enough to have my printer, resin, wash and cure station, and some good old, well, primers at the top there, and a bit of clear resin which I need to use. So yeah, I've been using the Sonic Mighty 8K now by Phrozen for the good past couple of weeks, and well, yeah, absolutely love it. Not had any failures at all. Obviously, it fits nicely into this small area. Didn't have to put this bit of wood at the front just because the printer would have overhung a little bit. But yeah, so this is a lovely sort of mid-range size printer. So it's not one of the biggest ones, and it's definitely not one of the smallest ones. So you can get plenty of prints on there, which is perfect. Obviously, the one thing I did have to do, which you'd have seen in a few other videos, yeah, normally these kind of covers you have to lift off the top. But as I got a shelf above it, obviously that wasn't an option. So I cut my lid in half. But this way is perfect because I can get to everything I need to. And the lid itself, yeah, I cut it with a little Dremel tool. So it was a nice clean cut, but I still put this, this sort of like rubber edging around it. One of the reasons for this, one, obviously it looks a lot neater, and two, it butts up against the other bit of this sort of stuff I put on the other half, so there's no gap whatsoever. So it is a nice sort of contact with each other. Stuck a couple of handles on the side. Reason for that is I don't like touching these because they get dirty so easy. So having the handles just makes it perfect. And yeah, I absolutely love my little workstation here. So I would love to have like a big area and loads of printers, but alas, I just don't have the room. But this does obviously go to show that you don't need a lot of room, guys, to have a printer. The only other thing I've got is obviously this little tray that I use to take the miniatures off of the base plate onto this, wearing the gloves obviously, and then I stick them in a wash and cure station. So obviously you need to print something, and yeah, this week I'm getting my fix of orcs. So I've got these ones from Puppets War Miniatures. Yeah, I mean, they do an amazing range of miniatures. They do a shed load of orcs, which is just perfect. So yeah, I'm going for these fun looking guys on these, well, they're not quite copters, they're quadcopters. Yeah, but there's a nice little range here. And the thing I love about the old Puppet Wars miniatures, they're very mixable, matchable. Does that make sense? Yeah, they're basically, you print them off in parts and then glue them together. So you can have a whole variety of heads, arms, legs, weapons, obviously vehicles, which is just awesome. As always, guys, yeah, loads of links down below. Some are affiliate links, which means, well, I get a few pennies come back my way if you use them. Doesn't cost you any more. So yeah, certainly be helping the channel out if you are interested in buying any of the sort of stuff that I use. Yeah, I'd love it if you could use one of the links. So downloaded all the files, took them into my usual slicing software, and then stuck them in, well, the good old Phrozen Sonic Mighty 8K. And then a few hours later, I got a lovely crisp looking print. I've been using the 8K resin, which is absolutely amazing for real sharp definition. So the only downside on it is when you get some small little areas or small little bits like little swords and the like, they can be a bit brittle. So you will be seeing me using some ABS resin from Phrozen in a few videos coming up. And yeah, I'll be able to sort of show the differences between, well, the ABS one and the 8K one. So I'm going to do a little bit of a base on this chap, as well. I'm not really going to use him for anything. So any miniatures that I don't actually use, yeah, I don't mind sticking them on a little base or in a little diorama, just because they then look cute and good, well, on my desk. Or maybe on your desk. Say, a lot of these miniatures that I do, let's actually make them for games that I play, then yeah, I will stick them on my eBay page, just in case, well, anyone wants to buy them. Because again, it'll help me out and it helps the channel out. So I do like to keep my basing nice and simple, and as you can see, yeah, I'm using some fine sand here. In the recent video, I used some fine sand and then some sort of little rocks and stones and the like. But this one, yeah, I'm just going to use the fine sand. And the great thing here is, well, I use the PVA glue, but I don't smooth the PVA glue out. I have it lumpy and bumpy, and as you can see here, there are some sort of raised areas, which is pretty cool because it just makes the ground look nice and uneven. And yeah, as always, slapchop. Good old priming black, dry brush white. And then yeah, the Green Stuff World dipping inks. I mean, I've been using these now for about the last month, and I do go on about them, but I just can't help myself. I just love it. But say it's so weird because I actually had some Green Stuff dipping inks about 3-4, maybe 6 months ago. Tried them out, didn't really get on with them because they are very fluid. Yeah, it's like they're watered down even more than sort of normal speed paints or contrast paints. And at the time, I thought that was kind of pants and didn't like it. But the more I use them, the better it is, because obviously they pool even better in the recesses. Plus, it also means you can build the colours up. So you can start off with a nice sort of light looking colour. But if you want to make it darker, yeah, you apply a second coat. Although half the time I don't bother doing a second coat because the first coat just looks perfect anyway. And yeah, the greens. This is I think the third green I've used and absolutely love it. Although as you can see there in the background, the bottle, they seem to do one's called dipping inks and one lot called intensity ink. I'm not sure what the difference is or why there is sort of different names, but the outcome and how they look and feel and how they sort of are on the brush are exactly the same. But yeah, awesome results. And as I say, these because they pool so much, you really do get a nicer definition of darkness to lightness, which is just awesome. Unfortunately, at the moment, they don't do any sort of metallic range ones. So yeah, it is just a case of doing normal sort of metallic colours and then a good old wash at the end just to sort of dirty everything down. And I have just recently been sent a whole stash load of paints from Green Stuff World. And I think for the first time ever, I can actually admit I have too many paints. Yeah. I mean, as it is, I don't have half the paints on my desk that I've actually got. But now with this extra sort of, well, it's about 4 or 5 boxes worth of paints. And probably about another, I don't know, maybe about 150, 200 bottles of new paints for me to try. Yeah, I really don't have any room. So guys, if you're after getting some cheap paints, I will be selling a lot of the paints over on eBay. Again, most of these paints I'm going to be selling, not even opened, not used whatsoever. I will leave full descriptions to any of the paints I have used. So yeah, if you're after getting some paints cheap, check out my eBay down below because, well, I'm finally going to sell them. Just because I really have run out of room, which is just, well, it's great. But yeah, I never thought I would ever be in a position where I would say I've got too many paints, even though half the paints I do have are sitting in bags or sitting in cupboards or in boxes. But yeah, absolutely love it. So as always, yeah, painting these guys, it's a dream, it's a doddle, it's nice and quick, nice and easy. I absolutely love painting miniatures, which is kind of clear because that does seem to be where my channel has sort of gone to now. Yeah, it really is a case of printing, painting and playing, which is just awesome because I am trying out a lot more, well, new games now. So you'd have seen in the past, I used to play a lot of kill team stuff. Never played full Warhammer just because, well, I think there's too many miniatures, too much going on. I like faster, more action-packed or action-paced or fast-paced. God, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, fast-paced games. There we go. I'll get there in the end. So yeah, so Kill Teams is one of my main go-to. Obviously playing Hero Quest, although I'm going to be getting back into playing D&D as well. And Zombicide. Yeah, I'm going to be playing some games of that soon just because, well, I love zombies and it's a whole new range of miniatures to paint. So yeah, guys, any games you play that use miniatures, by all means, again, let me know in the comments. As yeah, I am now trying out new games. I know in the past I've always said I didn't want to try new games because I am very much the kind of guy that I get hooked instantly. And I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. So I will literally play a game constantly or not play games at all. So yeah, let me know in the comments. But again, it doesn't need to be games where there are miniatures involved, just because obviously, well, I like painting miniatures. So this base is sort of nice and simple, kept simple, but again, I think sometimes simple is best. I could have possibly gone round and put some little tufts of grass and stuff over this, but as you can clearly see, I didn't. So yeah, so while that's drying, I'm now just doing, say, the wash everywhere. I do like to apply a liberal amount of wash, just because, as I always say, I like my miniatures to look a bit worn, a bit battered. They've taken a beating, and they're certainly not fresh off the production line. And the same can be said, especially with orcs as well. As we all know, orcs are the best kit bashers or scratch builders out there. So they're not looking for the best looking parts. They're looking for parts that are going to make them go faster. Which is obviously why this is red. Although there's one thing I forgot to print out in my haste to get this done. Obviously I love the orc himself. I didn't print the little blades, the one in the top of this is it a quadcopter, I guess. So yeah, I missed out doing the blades, and I only noticed that when I got to the very end and I was painting the top bit. It's like there's something missing. Yeah, but by then it was kind of a bit too late to get things printed in time for the video to come out. So that's why the guy's on the floor. So yeah, he's lost his blades. There we go, a bit of a backstory. He's lost his blades, so he's not flying anymore. He's just whizzing along on the ground. And again, say there, these dipping inks. I need to do a video where I go through and paint something with every single colour, just so you can see each one. What I was saying, I think the video I did when I first got these paints many moons ago, I may have done that. Anyway, I'm waffling, but yeah, I might print out some orc heads and just go through each of the paints again, just because I say I'm loving these paints now, which is really weird because the first time I used them, not so much. So there we go, guys, a lesson learned. So if you get something and you're not fussed on it, persevere, give it a chance, because I've now gone from not liking these paints to absolutely loving these paints. Again, guys, yeah, I'm not being sponsored by Green Stuff World in any way, so they are sending me stuff for free, which is obviously lovely, but yeah, they're not saying to me I need to say anything or promote anything or do anything. And as always, anything I say, yeah, it's my own waffly words. But yeah, no, I'm in love with these paints. So yeah, go check them out. That being said, I do need to get some sort of affiliate link with them, really, just so I can try and get a few pennies back. But hey ho. Yeah, so one of the last things I like to do with orcs, I'm still not very good at this, but I tried to make their lips and generally their ears, although you can't see this dude's ears, add a little bit of orange on there just to get a little bit of a difference in the colours. I've done this with some like orcs and the little Gretchen dudes, and generally it can come out looking really good. But this guy, he's got a lot of definition in his jaw there, or his mouth, so I'm not too sure. I tried to obviously feather it out, so I put quite a bit on at first, and then sort of dry my brush and then try and feather the stuff out. And yeah, it's not too bad. The thing is that I love orcs, so you can't really have a bad orc because, well, the sillier looking, possibly the better. So that's him almost done. Last couple of things I want to try. Well, as you can see, greaseproof paper comes out. Can only mean one thing. I'm going to rust it up. So good old dirty down rust. Yeah, you'll have seen me use this plenty of times. It's magic in a bottle. It really is. One thing though, if you are using this stuff, you need to shake this bottle so much. There are ball bearings at the bottom, but yeah, quite often I take the lid off, stick a stick in and stir up the bottom, just because this stuff, it settles really thick, and when I say thick, I mean it's like mud. So you need to stir that up, really give it a good old shake, but then yeah, to apply it, it's so easy. As you can see, I use it as it is, straight from the bottle cap, and then I put some water on my brush just to dilute it, and I sort of dot that everywhere as well, just so you get a nice combination of sort of full strength dirty down rust and then watered down stuff. So a nice bit of a variety. When it dries, you get that great sort of rust looking thing where, yeah, rustier in some areas and not so much others. And yeah, usual thing as well, whenever there's metal involved, a bit of dry brushing with some silver just to go around catching all the edges to make them look a little bit worn and battered and just sort of, well, rubbed against, I guess. It makes the whole thing look, well, less like it's made of plastic or resin in this case, and more like it could have been metal. So yeah, loving how this guy's coming out. One kind of last thing to do just with the old exhaust ports at the back, and that's to try and make them look like they're on fire or they're heated up. And the usual kind of thing I try and do here, again, a bit of blue and a bit of orange, and then try and feather them in. So this is where obviously these kind of paints are good because they are so fluid. So I put quite a bit on, dry my brush, and then try and sort of blend it in and feather it in. Just so then when I put the blue on, which you'll see in a second, again I do the same sort of thing with that. I put quite a bit on, then I dry my brush, and then try and feather the blue into the orange. And yeah, it's quite a simple little sort of thing to do. It takes a bit of practice. I mean, I'm still not as good as I want to be with it, but yeah, it certainly looks better than, well, not doing it. And again, the only way we're really going to get any better is trial and error. Keep practicing, learn from any mistakes, and yeah, just again, but have fun with it though. Don't stress out about it. If it doesn't look how you really want it and you can't get it how you want it, you then got to accept it for it is what it is, which is why I think I love painting so much more now, because when I first started I always wanted to be better than I was, whereas now I'm just happy where I am. If I get better, great. If I don't, it doesn't matter. I'm enjoying myself, and the end results, yeah, I'm loving the end results. So yeah, just keep feathering it. Say I keep drying the brush. Every time you see the brush go out of screen, it's been dried, just so I can then try and feather it all in. And yeah, I'm pleased with it. So let's see him in, well, all his glory. And there we go, one orc boy ready for action. Even, well, if he can't fly because I forgot to put the little blades at the top. But never mind. Yeah, love how he looks. I say this green, yeah, so far I've not had a bad green. I love all the greens I've used from the Green Stuff World Dipping Inks. So yeah, I might have to do a full-on orc comparison and use all their greens. But I definitely want to go through and show you all their dipping inks, just because I've also been sent a whole load of new intensity inks, and I say from what I've seen so far they seem to do the same thing. So yeah, look out for a video coming soon where, well, I'm going to show you the full range of the paints that they do, and obviously all the other paints that I've got as well. Anyway, less waffling. Let's finish up the video. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of this and what you want to see me do in the future, as well as any games you play that you think I should have a little look at. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments, all that great stuff. You guys take care. See you in the next one. Bye for now.